Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's Haley from Haley in the Details. I'm a YouTuber, a Depop seller, and an overall vintage enthusiast. So I've been seeing a lot of videos of people trying on everything in their closet. I wanted to contribute to this trend by doing a series in parts, partially because over half of my clothes are still in New York. I left them when I fled to Florida before the lockdown, and also because it's just an insane amount of work. Props to anyone who puts in the hours and hours of filming required to make an entire closet tour. That is just something that I, as a final semester grad student, just do not have the time and energy for. For part one of my Trying On Everything in My Closet series, I wanted to show you guys all of my vintage dresses, or at least all of the ones that I have here. If you don't already know, about a year ago, I started buying exclusively secondhand, and I would say that a good 90% of what I buy is vintage. I'm just personally more excited by vintage clothes. I love the history, I love the quality of the fabric, and I love the styles and silhouettes. But the other thing that happened last year was I started selling clothes. My Depop is my main source of income right now, and it's looking like it might be my full-time business in the near future. So because of that, I don't have a massive collection of stuff that I keep for myself. I'd say that I prefer to own a few things for a shorter period of time and then eventually sell them so I can make room for new things in my wardrobe and so I can sell the vintage pieces that I collect to a good home. What you guys are going to see today are all pieces that are currently in my personal collection, but I'd probably be willing to list them on Depop if you're interested in any one of them. I just have this weird thing about me that I don't really grow a personal sentimental attachment to clothes, so unless I'm just obsessed with the style or the fit, I'm probably going to be willing to let it go. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the dresses. So first off, I want to start with one dress that I have from the 1960s. I'm really getting more into 60s vintage, but it is hard to find at an affordable price, so my collection thus far is pretty small. I only have one vintage 60s dress. I put a belt at the waist because without it, it looks a little bit like a hospital gown, but either way, this is such a comfortable and lightweight dress for summer. I absolutely want to get more 60s vintage in my collection, but this is all that I have dress-wise for right now. So next up we have the 70s. I have quite a few 70s dresses that I purchased pretty recently. It all started with this prairie dress that I purchased from Shop Series that sadly is in New York right now, but truly belongs in this video. This one was previously owned by my absolute favorite fashion blogger and writer out there, Alyssa in the City, and after getting my hands on this piece, I just wanted to buy more and more prairie dresses. So first up, I have this gorgeous blue floor-length floral prairie dress. It has adorable white crochet sleeves and a little trim at the bottom, kind of like an apron. And then it has this detachable belt that cinches you in at the waist. This one is a little bit tight on me, particularly in the armholes, so I would definitely be willing to sell it even though it is so beautiful. Next, I have a very similar dress that is actually a red floral and gingham. This one fits me a little bit better, but it does have an even more extreme apron vibe. It has adorable little front pockets to put your hands when you feel awkward in social situations, which thankfully we don't have to worry about right now. Okay, I probably shouldn't make jokes about that. But anyway, I'm obsessed with both of these dresses. I think they're so perfect for summer and they're definitely quite unique. It's pretty hard to find anything with this level of detail and craftsmanship at an affordable price nowadays. Next up, I have this beautiful floor-length pink vintage 70s dress from Woke Vintage, which is my favorite store in New York City. I did purchase this since I've been in Florida. You can actually buy things from their Instagram story any day of the week and they will ship it to your address. I was just really drawn to the empire waist silhouette of this dress. The fabric is heavy and gorgeous. It has this beautiful little crochet detail at the front, which is going to be very trendy for summer 2020. And I can't help but feel like Princess Peach in this voluminous floor-length skirt. This one is among my favorites, and I can't wait for things to start opening up again, so I might be able to wear this out somewhere. Next up, I have this gorgeous little prairie mini dress. This one is another Depop find, and what I like about this one is that because it's a mini length, it's a lot more wearable for day to day. The fabric is super light and comfortable, not itchy at all, which I know can be an issue with some older pieces. I love the contrasting yoke detail and the little balloon sleeve. I think both of those touches are going to be really trendy for the coming seasons. And of course, you can't go wrong with a classic floral print. Lastly, for the 1970s dresses, I have this gorgeous black and purple voluminous baby doll dress with a Peter Pan collar. I was really drawn to this dress because of the collar and because of the smocking at the breast. Both of these things are big trends for the rest of 2020. Sadly, this one is a little bit big on me, and even though I can cinch it in with the tie at the back, it still doesn't fit quite how I want it to, so you're probably gonna see this one on my Depop in the near future. Moving on, everyone knows my absolute favorite decade is the 1980s. I am so obsessed with shoulder pads and puff sleeves, shiny fabrics, and anything that just cinches you in at the waist. I have a ton of other 1980s vintage pieces, but since we're just focusing on the dresses, that's what I'm gonna show you guys. First up, we have a very recent addition. I found this amazing leopard print peplum dress on thredUP. Now, if you've seen my thredUP review, you know that it can be pretty hard to find reasonably priced things on thredUP and almost impossible to find vintage. So anyway, after way too many hours of looking around on thredUP for vintage pieces, I found this gorgeous Maggie London 1980s vintage dress. Again, this one is a little bit big on me, but I think the silhouette is so flattering, and this is one of those truly identifiable 1980s pieces. Puff sleeves have been a massive trend for the last season, and they are not stopping anytime soon. I have this one pink silk dress that ticks all of the boxes for what I'm looking for when I look for 1980s vintage. It's got this gorgeous ruffle collar, this ruffle trim at the bottom, a big ribbon to cinch you in at the waist, and then of course these gorgeous puff sleeves. You might find this dress a little bit ridiculous, which it is, but I'm a huge fan of it. I also have this slightly more contemporary bodycon style puff sleeve dress. The sleeves are absolutely enormous, but the bodice of the dress is relatively toned down. In fact, the material of this dress is actually so thin that I can tuck it into pants and wear it as a top, which I've done multiple times. This is one of my older vintage pieces, but I still love it so much, and I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. I do have a more casual 80s piece, which is this big button plaid dolman sleeve dress. I purchased this one on Depop as part of a buy one get one deal, and as much as this isn't my usual style, I do find this dress really flattering and easy to wear, so I could definitely get behind it. Lastly, in my 80s collection, for dresses at least, I have this bold red puff sleeve baby doll dress. I love the polka dots on it, I love the little bow accents, and of course I love the puff sleeves. This one looks a lot like a Reformation dress that I used to own that was very low quality, so I'm so glad I got my hands on a piece that's a little better made and a little more unique. If you guys haven't watched that video, definitely go check out my Reformation haul and review that I did when I first started my YouTube channel. It was one of the things that made me realize that buying vintage and buying other secondhand pieces is probably always going to be a better investment than buying things from Reformation, even though they're a sustainable brand. But you guys can go check it out and make your own judgments. So lastly, I have some 1990s vintage dresses. First up is this baby pink spaghetti strap dress that ties at the waist. This is kind of a 90s does the 70s piece. It's got these gorgeous little white details that definitely remind me of the apron dresses I was showing you guys at the beginning of the video. But the best part about this dress is the adorable little flower-shaped buttons. This dress is super flattering, super lightweight for summer, so it's definitely sticking around in my wardrobe. Lastly, I have a Goodwill find. It's this gorgeous teal color that I'm a huge fan of. It has these square opalescent buttons running down the front that are super unique, and then it has that universally flattering cinch tie at the waist. I love collecting pieces like this, especially for my Depop, because it's so great when a range of people can wear a single garment. That way, if I sell it to someone and they eventually don't want it in their wardrobe either, it's gonna be much easier for it to find a new home and not end up in a landfill. At least not immediately. I also love that because this dress buttons all the way up and down, you can kind of customize how much chest and leg you want to show while you're wearing it. Alright you guys, that is it for all of my vintage dresses. Keep an eye out for more of these closet tour videos if you guys are interested. And of course, make sure you're following my Depop, which is just Haley in the Details, if you want to get your hands on anything that you see in this video. You guys voted for this video over on my Instagram, so if you guys want to give me input on future videos, make sure you're following me there. It's just HaleyWalker_. I ask questions and I do polls about what you guys might want to see, but I also am just so excited when you guys reach out to me to ask questions or just say hi. I hope you guys are all staying safe and sane. Let me know down in the comments what things are like in your part of the world. I'm just so hoping that things get better soon so we can all see each other in person, hit up the thrift store, wear our ridiculous outfits out to actual events. But if that doesn't happen, you guys know I'm still gonna be playing dress up in my house, in my backyard, taking Instagram pictures and making videos for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next one.